After years of waiting, after tears, theories, heartbreak, and absolute chaos, Stranger Things is finally back with the beginning of its final season. And let me tell you something, this volume is insane. Vecna returns with a terrifying new plan. Max is trapped somewhere darker than death itself. Holly Wheeler suddenly becomes one of the most important characters in the entire story. And Will Byers, oh man, Will Byers changes forever. So buckle up, take a deep breath, because we're about to break down everything that happens in Season 5, Volume 1.
Season 5 starts by taking us all the way back to where everything began, with a little kid who vanished. We return to 1983, when Will Byers was hiding from the Demogorgon in the Upside Down. No matter how much he ran, the creature eventually caught him and dragged him straight to Vecna. There, Vecna connected him to the hive mind. And from that moment on, Will wasn't just a missing kid anymore. He became part of Vecna's plan, even before anyone knew who Vecna was. Fast forward to November 3rd, 1987, and Hawkins is almost unrecognizable. The military has the entire town on lockdown. Roadblocks, fences, checkpoints, soldiers everywhere. They've even built a whole base inside the Upside Down, like they're trying to study it or control it, even though they barely understand what they're dealing with. The Byers and Wheeler families are now living together, trying to keep things together emotionally. Everyone's dealing with something. Robin is running a small radio show where she talks about Hawkins' news and secretly sends coded messages to the rest of the group. Steve and Jonathan are basically in a "who can impress Nancy more" competition. And Dustin is not doing great. He's still heartbroken over Eddie, acting impulsive, picking fights, and making questionable decisions. Meanwhile, Eleven is on a whole different mission. Hopper is making her train non-stop. She runs a brutal obstacle course again and again, because if she can improve her time, Hopper promised he'd let her join him on the next mission into the Upside Down. They've gone in dozens of times trying to find Vecna, but the only things they've found are creatures, ruins, and soldiers who never made it back. And then there's Holly Wheeler, the last person you'd expect to matter, suddenly talking to an imaginary friend she calls Mr. What. She says he warns her about monsters. She says he wants to protect her. At first, it seems like normal kid imagination, until we realize who this friend really is. When we finally see him, dressed like some polite gentleman with a pocket watch and calm voice, it hits us. Holly isn't talking to a made-up character. She's talking to Henry Creel. She's talking to Vecna. And that's when things start escalating fast. During one mission, Hopper sneaks onto a supply truck that's heading into the Upside Down, trying to find some trace of Vecna. Everything goes wrong. A Demogorgon appears out of nowhere, causes a massive crash, and at that exact moment, Will collapses because he sees the attack through the monster's eyes. His connection is back, stronger than before, and the Demogorgon is heading straight for the Wheeler house. Inside, Holly's room flickers with lights. A portal opens above her. The Demogorgon crashes in, and her mom grabs her and hides in the bathtub, terrified. The creature destroys the house and drags Holly into the Upside Down. Eleven doesn't even hesitate. She rips open a portal and jumps straight in. Meanwhile, Will opens up about what's been happening to him. Ever since they returned to Hawkins, he's been feeling Vecna again, like a signal pulling at his brain. Robin describes it perfectly. Will is basically an antenna connected to the hive mind. And whether he likes it or not, he can feel Vecna's moves. Inside the Upside Down, Holly wakes up in a twisted version of the Creel house, and there she meets Senor K again. Henry, acting strangely gentle, telling her she's safe with him, telling her he wants to protect everyone she loves. But something feels off, and she knows it. Meanwhile, Vecna chooses his next victim, Derek, a kid from school who bullies everyone. Will sees through Derek's eyes before Vecna even touches him, which gives the group an idea. They can use this connection to predict where Vecna will strike next. The group sets up an ambush in Derek's house. The house becomes a giant trap filled with wires and explosives. When the Demogorgon arrives, it gets hit hard. Nancy fires a tracking dart into it, and Steve chases it down with his van. While this is happening, Holly receives a letter telling her to meet Henry near some rocks. She goes into the woods of this mental upside down, gets followed, panics, and then someone steps out of the shadows. Red hair, familiar face. It's Max. Holly is terrified at first. She thinks it's a monster. But Max convinces her with a silly secret that only her family would know. Mike once almost dyed his hair bright orange. That's enough proof. Max explains everything. When Vecna broke her bones and killed her, she did die. But Lucas pulled her back with her favorite song, except instead of waking up in her body, her mind landed inside a prison built from Henry's memories, a maze made of his past. She wandered through his childhood, through everything he experienced, until Henry noticed her and chased her down. Max ran into a cave, and that cave turned out to be the one place Henry cannot enter, his deepest trauma. That's where Max has been hiding all this time. And she tells Holly that Vecna is capturing kids, connecting them with vines, and using them as energy to power something massive, a tower or machine that could blend dimensions. Max has a plan, but Holly has to help from inside the memory world. Meanwhile, Eleven and Hopper break into the military's secret room in the upside-down base, expecting to find Vecna in captivity, but instead they find Callie, number 8, the girl with illusion powers from Season 2. The military has been experimenting on her, studying her, trying to learn everything about psychic abilities and the creatures. And if they've captured 8, that means Vecna was never here. And then comes the moment everything collapses. The kids try to rescue the children the military has gathered, but the plan fails. Alarms go off, soldiers show up, and several of them get captured. Will suddenly freezes, feeling something approach, something dark, cold, and familiar. Portals tear open throughout the base. Demogorgons pour out. It becomes a slaughterhouse. And then Vecna arrives. He walks calmly through the chaos, lifts Will into the air, and tells him the truth. You were the first, the weakest, the easiest to break, and now you will help me finish this. Vecna disappears through a portal and leaves the Demogorgons to kill everyone. They're seconds away from tearing apart Lucas, the kids in the truck, and the rest of the group, until everything stops. The Demogorgons freeze mid-air, completely still, because Will Byers is controlling them. For the first time, Will doesn't just feel the hive mind, he grabs hold of it, he commands it, and he destroys every Demogorgon attacking his friends. The boy who started the story as the kid who vanished is now a psychic powerhouse connected to the same network as Vecna.
It's like I could fly, like...
And this time, I didn't run. This time, I stood my ground.